Hello and welcome to Honor Ride Across America. Here we are in Homer City, Pennsylvania. And we're visiting American Legion Post 493. And with us today is...
my name is John McGregor, a former United States Marine. I served from 2002 to 2006.
John, what inspired you to join the Marine Corps?
Well, I come from a military family. My father was a World War II veteran in the United States Navy. I have three brothers, two of which were in the Navy, and my other brother is a former Marine as well.
John, what training did you receive in the Marine Corps?
I received all the basic training, Marine combat training as a non-infantry personnel, and additional training as a helicopter mechanic.
Helicopter mechanic. Wow, we got two helicopter mechanics at the same post. What countries were you able to visit?
I was able to visit Japan in Okinawa at the air base there, and it was a very unique experience. I never would have been able to see Japan as a civilian. It's not something that I think a typical person would ever or could ever afford to do on their own.
Do you think with the military that it has changed your character today in the civilian life?
Absolutely. I think that the military gives you a sense of discipline and selflessness that goes a long way in the civilian area.
Is there any kind of special sacrifices that you might have had to endure while you were in the military?
Well, I left right after high school. I actually missed my high school graduation ceremony to go to boot camp. So, for a lot of young people, it's hard to get away from your friends. And, a lot of young people have a girlfriend, and you feel like you're a million miles away from everybody. So it's hard as a young person sometimes to get letters and hear about what your friends and family are doing and to not be able to see them or experience them.
Were there any special holidays that you had to endure away from the family?
Yes. Thanksgiving, Christmases, and, different family holidays. I'm sure they're different for everybody, but we always had picnics on the 4th of July and Labor Day even. And so every time that your family gets together and you're not there, it stings a little bit. But,
do you feel as though your members in the military that you met, do you consider them your brothers to this day?
Absolutely. I kept in contact with many people. In fact, I had a really good friend in boot camp that I had never met before. He was from the other side of Pennsylvania, and out of boot camp he was selected to guard President Bush. And of course, when he went into that, we lost all contact with him. But 3 years later, when he was done with his duty, he made it a point to find me, and we keep in contact to this day.
John, your military career spanned how many years again?
4.
4 years. And then during that 4 years, do you think it enhanced your character in the civilian life to make you aspire to do greater things in civilian life, to honor the Marine Corps?
Yes. I think it definitely helps you in the fact that, in a very basic sense, having to follow orders and respecting your leaders as the fact that they're your leaders. You don't have to necessarily look at people on an individual basis. You regard their title and what you're being asked to do, so it makes it a lot easier.
We're here at American Legion today, Post 493, and what do you do at the American Legion?
Right now, I serve as Judge Advocate, Post Officer, and I'm also Vice President of the American Legion Riders, Chapter 493 here.
My goodness, that's such a big field to accomplish. What inspired you to go ahead and do these kind of things for the American Legion?
Well, I was introduced to the American Legion by my uncle, and I joined and just spent a couple of years getting acclimated to everything that goes on. I started going to meetings for the post, and then joined the Legion Riders, and eventually I was encouraged to become an officer, and I took the opportunity.
Oh, so you are an officer of the American Legion?
Yes.
A lot of the young returning veterans, they seem to shy away from our veteran organizations. You're not that type of individual. What inspired you, and what can you say to other returning young veterans to seek out these veteran organizations and tell them to inspire themselves, maybe re-grasp some of that brotherhood within the Legion?
Well, I was lucky enough to have an uncle that was very active, and that definitely encouraged me too. I think a lot of the problem with people, my age, younger people, is the fact that the word of mouth just isn't there as much as it used to be. But every time I meet somebody, whether they're my age or even older than me or younger, I always try and spread the word and try to familiarize them a little bit with the American Legion and what we do.
So you would encourage more of your brethren in your generation to try to attend more American Legions, is that correct?
Absolutely. And another thing, it really doesn't matter what you did in the military. I think maybe some people shy away because they're not sure exactly how much or how little you did in the military that makes it.
John, I have one more question for you. You're an American Legion officer, and what would you say to your young generation veteran that's just leaving Iraq, Afghanistan? How would you encourage them to come and join an American Legion to try to be more supportive of the community that it serves?
I would, say first of all that the Legion and the VFW, these different organizations, when to me the backbone of these organizations was really the World War II generation. When they came home, they're the ones that really built these organizations, and for our generation, we have lost touch with our grandparents a little bit. We don't have anybody that's really in our lives every day that introduces us to the American Legion. But it's our turn. It's our turn to come together and to spread patriotism and promote. We need to be there for the generations in the future.
Well, it seems like a lot of people think the American Legion is just another form of a private bar. What would you say about that?
Well, a lot of American Legions do have social clubs, and they do have bars, but it's so much beyond it than that. Basically, I look at the bars of the American Legion just as a place, a gathering place for veterans and people that support veterans. But as far as American Legions, marching parades, they do funeral details for veterans that have passed away. They promote youth baseball teams and just a million other miscellaneous things in the community to help the community and veterans all over.
Well, that definitely says a lot for the American Legion. What have you noticed here in this community of Homer City, what American Legion Post 493 has contributed to?
One thing is typical with a lot of American Legions. We put on a Memorial Day and a Veterans Day ceremony where we'll have different speakers, older veterans, sometimes younger veterans, get up and recite poetry, tell stories about people in the community, some of them from World War I or even the Civil War that sacrificed a lot for their country and their branch of the military. And I've noticed a lot of kids that have been brought here by their parents, and you can see the curiosity in their eyes. So I think any time that an organization like ours is able to help teach, especially children, the importance of patriotism and the importance of American history, it's a wonderful thing.
Well, that's awesome, John, and we're so glad that you gave us this opportunity to interview you here in Homer City, Pennsylvania, at the American Legion Post 493. And we just, on a ride across America, just thanks you, and we look forward to seeing American Legions across this country do more and wonderful things, great things for their communities. And Honor Ride Across America thanks you for your service to your God and your country, and we thank you for your service to the American Legion. Semper Fi, Marine.